Representative Zephyr, let me please start with you. Your speeches, including your speech today, you have taken what they accused you of doing, breaching decorum, and you have put that up against death, literally. You have said that what these laws do is they can end up in people's deaths, whether it's suicides because people live in a society that others them and tells them that they are not welcome and they are scary and they're a threat, or because this entrenches hate against trans people.
That's exactly right. And I gave the example of the suicide in my speech, but we've also had people attacked in public, run over by vehicles in Montana. The violence is escalating, and these policies create the conditions of that violence in our states. And the legislatures that are trying to pass them, when people stand up in defense of our communities, they're not okay with just passing it. They want to silence us.
Representative Jones, thank you and welcome to the show. Something you said struck with me. You said if you come for one of us, you come for all of us. You know, that I wasn't clear a few weeks ago when you were kicked out of the Tennessee legislature that was going to be the case. And what we saw was a whole bunch of people who didn't know anything about Tennessee or the Tennessee legislature or you signing up and saying, not only do I want to help this cause, but I want to get into the cause.
Definitely. What we are seeing and what we warned about in Tennessee was that if it went forward in Tennessee, this attempt to silence dissent through the most extreme measures, it would set a precedent. And so we knew that if they came for one of us, they would come for others of us. And as we saw today with Representative Zephyr in Montana, this trend toward authoritarianism is just continuing. But also, when I say that when they come for one of us, they come for all of us, that means that we're going to stand together in solidarity as a multiracial, multi-generational movement to say that we will not allow fascism to happen without a challenge, that we care more about democracy than we do about decorum. We care more about the deaths of these young people than about this false decorum that's used to silence dissent and oppress voices that are challenging their dominant narrative of injustice. And so, we must stand together. We stand with you, Representative Zephyr, and whatever we can do to support, let you know that we're setting solidarity from Tennessee because we know that this is a very dangerous trend toward a road we don't want to go down.
Representative Zephyr, how does that make you feel? Because you are a little different in this conversation. Your fight is not as far down the road as the fight for civil rights for Black Americans and even gay Americans. Being trans in this country is very, very hard right now. How do you feel when Representative Jones says to you, when you come for one of us, you come for all of us, and we're with you?
I feel solidarity. What else could I feel? We know in this moment, trans people are the target du jour for the far right, with over 400 bills targeting the community across state legislatures this year. But I know also in Montana, the first people standing up for me were the American Indian Caucus, pointing out that our state has a long history of targeting marginalized communities and with policies that lead to separation and death. And so we know that if we're going to succeed in this, one community is not enough to shift the tides of history here. We need all of us standing and fighting together.
Congressman Frost, I'm more than twice the age of all of you. It is kind of interesting because Representative Jones says that this is multi-generational and it's multiracial. It does seem to be a lot of young people leading it. Is it multi-generational? Can you get the rest of us who are not as creative to get on this bandwagon and say it's going to look different in the future? It's going to change. Representative Ocasio-Cortez says it's darkest before the dawn. Do you believe that to be true? And can you get the rest of us to sign on to it?
I do believe it to be true, and I believe it to be true because when we go to these actions, when we're out on the streets, we're protesting for our rights, the rights of our neighbors, the trans community, LGBTQ plus community, Black folks, immigrants, poor people in this country. It's young people, but it's all generations coming together. And what we know, and we heard this time and time again at our press conference earlier today, is we stand on the shoulder of giants and the elders who've come before us. And, I've heard many times, and I'm sure Representative Zephyr and Jones have heard this too, the young people will save us. And here's the thing, it shouldn't have to be up to the young people to save us. We need everybody working together, multiracial, multi-generational, coming together to fight for the world we deserve. That's how we build an America that's true to its promise. And an America that's true to its promise rejects fascism and embraces democracy. A democracy where somebody like Representative Zephyr can stand up for their constituents, for her constituents that deserve deserve to have that representation. But what we see happening is the right wing understands that time is not on their side, that this incoming generation of voters is voting for Democrats and people who are going to fight for them. And so they're clenching to that power with everything that they can do. And that's why we're seeing this rise in right wing fascism across the country. But we're going to fight it and we're going to win.
Let's talk about something you mentioned when you were outside the Capitol today, Congressman Frost. You were talking about they don't have solutions to climate, as you just mentioned. They don't have solutions. But the thing that got Representative Jones kicked out, and the thing that you were talking about that nobody seems to have a solution for, despite the fact that most Americans would like this sorted out, is guns. Gun violence is not complicated to most Americans across the political spectrum. There are solutions to this. Representative Jones and his colleagues down there were trying to draw attention to that in the way that a democracy says you're allowed to draw attention to things. Nobody was setting anything on fire. Nobody was throwing anything through any windows. Nobody was trying to overtake the Tennessee legislature. But in the end, how do you lead on this thing? How do you get yourself, how do you get politics in this nation in line with what people actually want to happen?
And that's the thing, bipartisanship to the rest of us means what we can agree on. When it comes down to universal background checks and common sense gun reform, most Americans, most Republicans, most NRA members are for common sense reform. But the definition of bipartisanship in the United States Congress and in Washington, D.C. takes a little bit of a different definition, and it becomes what the NRA is okay with. But what we know to be true, again, is with this new generation of voters, we are calling out the BS, and we are voting out the people who are continuing these systems of oppression that are not allowing us to pass the laws we need so we can live in a country where we have true freedom, the freedom to live in our communities, in our schools, in our homes, without that fear of violence. And when it comes down to these Republicans in these state legislatures really scapegoating decorum, let's be clear, it's not about decorum. If it was about decorum, we'd hear them talking more about what happened on January 6th. What it is these representatives have challenged a system of white supremacy, of misogyny, of transphobia, and they are challenging that. And they don't want it to be challenged, and that's why we see these horrible actions going on right now. It has nothing to do with decorum and everything with keeping in the systems that have kept the three of us and people who look like us and who are us for generations out of positions of power. But that's changing in this country.
So let's talk about that, Representative Jones. People like you and Representative Zephyr got into politics to change structures, right? And that's not always the case. Some people get into politics because they like the structure. They think it'll be fun to take a paycheck or be a politician and give speeches. You guys got into this to change the structure, and yet in both Tennessee and Montana, you have Republican supermajorities. And in Tennessee, some of those Republicans didn't run against anyone in the last election. They were acclaimed in their seat, which is a fascinating piece of information in 2023, that someone gets acclaimed. I don't know why it happens. It needs to not happen. But as a result of you being ejected, a whole bunch of people across this country said, I'm going to run for office, or I'm going to get involved in campaigns.
I mean, that is what gives me hope, is that if you look at what they did, is that their attacks on democracy are galvanizing a movement. They have lost a generation. And the truth be told is that, in the South, we have a saying, a dying mule kicks the hardest. These systems of white supremacy, these systems of transphobia, of homophobia, of plantation politics are dying. And so that's why we're seeing this extreme reaction, because they know that look at the screen right now. This represents the future of America. This represents the vision of America that they're so fearful of, because it is an inclusive America. It's one that affirms human dignity. It's one that affirms our solidarity with each other, our connection. But let them be on notice that this is just the beginning, that we are going to continue to push forward toward that vision of America that lives up to what it says on paper, towards that vision of America that challenges this notion that people like us don't belong in elected office, because we're not going in there, to make friends. We're going in there to make change. And that's the difference, is that we are not going to assimilate. We're not going to conform to a system that's been meant to make us feel small, meant to stifle our voice and the voices of our constituents. But we're going with this bold mandate to say that we have to push forward together, and that these systems, that their time has come, and that a new generation is rising up to make America what it ought to be.
Zoe Zephyr, tell us what we don't know in your life. You decided to run because of these laws that were being passed in Montana. You, like Representative Jones, decided to get involved as a result of this. This has got to be very, very hard for you. It's not fun being trans in America. It's not fun being trans in public, and it's not fun being trans in a Republican supermajority legislature where they just silenced you today. Tell me what motivates you right now.
So I want to draw a quick distinction there in that we are seeing a huge increase in attacks legislatively on the trans community, but the policies that they're bringing forward are out of step with average Americans. When I walk through my community, I am known, I am loved, and I am supported. And people see, my community sees the joy that trans people have when we step in and get to be ourselves. As for what I'm feeling right now, when you stand up on behalf of democracy, when you make the correct moral and ethical choice, it's hard to feel anything other than pride in that moment and pride for the people who came to the Capitol to show support for democracy and demand that it works.
What a remarkable conversation. Thank you to all three of you for being here. Thanks for doing what you do for democracy. Representative Zooey Zephyr, Tennessee Representative Justin Jones, Florida Congressman Maxwell Frost. We appreciate you all being with us tonight.